Hello everyone, I'm Kelly Gebhart and I'm going to show y'all Gimkits. Not hopefully, but maybe I'm showing you something new. I know my mentor teacher uses these a lot. Kids, the elementary school, especially fifth grade kids, go crazy for them. Um, they think they're playing a video game, but really, they're not. I mean, they are, but there's lots of different choices. A lot of these they play with each other, so like they can verse each other, the player versus player. Um, There's tons. I'm gonna do a pretty simple one at the beginning because I know I can play this one by myself. I don't have to have friends. Oh, and I push continue. I'm gonna make it 13 minutes because I ran out of time because I talked. All right. Continue. Loading you in. This might take a while. All right. So starting the game. Here's my game. It is climb to the top. So basically, the kids have energy up in that right corner. And as they run out of energy, they have to answer questions correctly to get more energy. And basically, the student that gets the highest gets or wins essentially. That's the winner. So let's answer some questions. Which of the following is not one of the five C's? Well, I know that the five C's are um, citizenship, which is communication, creativity. I know it's not cost, but the other ones, critical thinking, and creativity, collaboration. So cost is not one of the five C's. Um, Continue. So in a growth mindset, emphasis is not placed on praising intelligent effort or hard work. As kids get better, as they grow, um, you want to focus on how much effort are they putting in? Um, how much work did they put in? Are they working hard? Not how smart are they? Did they get an A? You want to talk about their effort and their hard work and in a growth mindset. True or false? All makerspaces look the same. That's false. They're all going to look different. There's no one way to do it. True or false? Makerspaces develop higher order thinking skills. Yep. You're using two sides of your brain most of the time. You are creating things, which is the tippity top. So absolutely, it is higher critical thinking, higher whatever. What thing needs to be considered when implementing a makerspace? You need to think about if it's going to be a virtual makerspace, do you have internet access? If you're building giant towers or something, do you have furniture that you can move? Uh, do you have a place where things can go, whether it's things that need to be continued to work on or things that they can get? So all of these. The E in the UTech model stands for it is experimenting, you know. Yeah. Which is not a reason that libraries are a perfect home for makerspaces. So makerspaces, we're not changing libraries and makerspaces because kids aren't reading books anymore. We're not getting rid of the books in the libraries. That's not, so that is the answer. But libraries have been storage centers for information for as long as they have existed. So it's already the place where information is being stored. Makerspaces is just a different kind of information the kids are getting. Um, so libraries are the biggest classrooms in school. Like, yeah, you have the space for it. Why not put it in there? Libraries are known as the centers that provide knowledge, books, tools, community access, and learning. It feels like all of these things is what a makerspace is. So yeah, why not? And basically just call it a makerspace. You're already doing it. So the right answer, which is the wrong answer, and my cat's going crazy. Nope, is that one. Stop it. The makerspace is and does all of the following except the makerspace is advanced advancements. I need to go change that. In critical thinking, it takes advantages in multiple learning styles, may lead to inventing. All of these things are happening in a makerspace. You're not wasting resources. Nothing is a waste if kids are creating or trying and failing and to cut out a star, which is hard. Just because they wasted a couple papers doesn't mean it's a total waste because they are gaining the knowledge of how to make it. The C in UTech is it's actually creating. that was tricky. It could be communicating, but the whole point is like the stuff that they are making. True or false, makerspaces only benefit science teachers. That's false. I mean, there is a lot of hands-on things, and you are kind of like experimenting in the sense that like what you think is going to happen, and then the results of that. But you're also writing and you're also reading potentially, and then in the board games you're doing math, all of those things. So it benefits all subjects. So false. A makerspace can be physical or virtual. Yeah, we're doing a virtual makerspace right now. We're playing a game. The U in UTech stands for, this is the using, like using board games, just using the things that are there in front of you, which is not a question to consider when implementing a makerspace. Um, so what personal qualities do you bring? So we're looking for the one that's not. So when you are starting a makerspace, what things do you do well? Could you teach, like if you could knit or you could woodwork? If you are able to do those things, you can pass on the information that you have to other students. Whether, like, I'm not going to go put woodworking in because I have no idea what kind of wood to use or the tools, how to use them. I'm not going to bring that in. Maybe eventually when I'm ready to learn about it, but it's not something I want to start in the makerspace. How much time can you commit? Like, do you have enough time to figure out all of the logistics and how you're going to do it? So how much, if you don't, maybe then just do the small ones, like the crossword puzzles, stuff that they can take and what is it? Those I've seen in other ladies, the take and makes, like in public libraries where the kids can take like the little worksheets and they can go make it at home or uh, and how does a makerspace align with your goals? So what are you wanting your students to get out of the makerspace? These are the things that you want to be thinking about. You're not going to be thinking about when you're starting, do I have money in the budget for a 3D printer? That's not a starting question. If that's something you want to add eventually, yeah, or at the beginning, but that's not like makes or breaks when you want to start a makerspace. Which of the following activities could be utilized in a makerspace? Puppet theater, woodworking, coding with robots, all of these things could be happening in a makerspace. So all of those choices. True or false, makerspaces only work in libraries with a flexible schedule. That's false. You can still make stuff and do stuff in your fixed schedules. Board games do not belong in makerspaces since there is no creating involved. That's false. Because um, they're using, that's part of the UTech, the using. Um, they're growing, they're doing brain growth. What is it? Um, and they're, learning to cooperate and learning to take their turn or the counting. It's like, so yeah. Oh no. Okay, I got a question wrong, and we'll go over that. Um, it'll go over the answers in the end. True or false? Everyone knows about makerspace. That's false. A lot of parents have no idea what you're talking about when you say makerspaces. There are some principals out there that don't know what a makerspace is. Be prepared. All finished products in a makerspace can be seen, and that is false. You are not creating something every time. Sometimes it's just brain growth that you're creating, or resilience, or, whether or not it's not always about a physical product. Oh, sorry. That was false. I pushed the wrong button. What are some of the downsides of having a makerspace? It is going to get messy. It can cost us a lot if you keep needing to add paper, and it can be noisy. So, but it's not a deal breaker. Those are just things that you need to be aware of. Activities that promote both left and right brain use lead to it helps you relax, it helps you grow your brain, it helps you lessen anxiety when you're using both sides. So it is all of the above. And that's so which of the following does belong in a makerspace? Knitting, spirograph, crossword puzzles, all of these things, yes, belong in a makerspace, absolutely. True or false? There are guidelines to follow in setting up a makerspace. False. There is not one way to do it. Um, there are lots of different ways to do it. True or false? Makerspaces must be unplugged. That's not true. The kids like being unplugged. They don't want to do everything on the computer. They do that at home. That's what they're doing in classroom now. They like to be unplugged and doing I love crossword puzzles at this point, I've noticed, or word searches because they're not doing that so much anymore. Because nobody wants to make copies of papers and stuff. Everyone's so worried about paper. Um, so makerspaces don't have to be unplugged, but they can be. So that is false. Which of the following is not one of the levels of Bloom's taxonomy? Well, Bloom's taxonomy starts with remembering, and then it goes to understanding, and then to applying, and then analyzing, and then evaluating, and then at the end creates. And all of these things lead to higher level thinking and like your critical thinking. So this is, oops, that was not one of the levels. The critical thinking is not a level, it's like the whole thing. So true or false, there are guidelines to follow when setting up a makerspace. No, true. I already did that one. Oh no, because oh, there are guidelines. No, sorry, there are no guidelines. There's not one way to do it. All right, so if I closed out of this, um, I usually have 4,000 energy, so I could kind of, I just answered a whole bunch of questions, right? So I have time to kind of play around. Remember, I only had that 12 or 13 minutes. So you can give your students a set amount of time that they're allowed to just kind of play. Uh, um, so right now I've gotten, it says my height has gotten up to, went up to like what, 37 or something? So whoever gets the highest height is the winner. So let's answer some more questions. Board games do not belong in the makerspace since there is no creating involved. False. Now I can't remember. They do belong. You are building your brain growth. The U stands for using, understanding, unleashing, unlearning. No, the U in the UTech model stands for using. A makerspace can be physical or virtual. That is true. It can be both. You can play computer games or you can color in a coloring book, or you can build something with Legos or with recycled materials. The E stands for experimenting. Will a cardboard roll down the hill faster than the the car? You're kind of figuring out true or false. They must be unplugged. I feel like I'm going over the same questions. Must be unplugged. False. They don't have to be. They can be, but they don't have to be. How much how much time is left? Does it say? Oh, I have 1 minute left. I hope I've answered all the questions at this point, and that's why they're repeating. Uh, I have played this a lot, but I usually run out of time before answering all the questions. So I'm curious if it's made sure that I've answered all. I guess I could go through it really fast. So let's answer more questions. Which is not a level. We just did that one, and we decided that critical thinking is all of it and not a level. Continue. Oh, which of the following is not one of the five C's? Citizenship is, creativity, communication is, but not cost. Critical thinking was one, collaboration was one, growth mindset. We don't focus on intelligence. We focus on practice over perfect, basically. The makerspace is and does all of the following, except it may lead to inventing. It takes advantages of multiple learning styles. It utilizes advancements in thinking and doing. It is not a waste of resources. Nothing's ever wasted. The T stands for tinkering, when you're kind of like just playing with things or you're like, how can you get better? Oh, please tell me I got all 25 questions. That's going to be annoying. Oh, I did way more. I did 34 questions. Okay. All right. Back to the, so I can, oh, view my report. That's what I wanted to look at. So this kind of goes over, I can count all the questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Kind of lost count. Okay, so it shows which ones I answered twice. Okay, that makes sense because I was like, why is it repeating? So that's good to know that it'll keep going back over the questions that they've already done. Good to know. And there was like, the questions that I got wrong that I clicked through. All finished products in a makerspace can be seen. That's false. I mean, like they, some are internal. The T stands for tinkering. Oh, that one got answered question twice. Which other one did I get wrong? Because I clicked too fast. Oh, it went over there. Perfect. So that's cool. So that is Gimkit. I hope you use this. I hope this, I'm teaching you something new. Um, all right. Thank you for listening.